Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cruise Corner podcast. I'm your co-host and editor of Cruise Trade News, Will Payne, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host and deputy editor of Cruise Trade News and World of Cruising, Josie Klein, and our senior creative content executive and producer extraordinaire, Shelby Woods.
Hey.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Hi, good to be here.
It's exciting to be on this side of the mic.
I know, yeah.
Welcome to this side.
We're actually letting you out from behind the laptop for once.
I know. I feel important.
Excellent. You always
are
are, Shelby.
important.
We wouldn't be here without you, Shelby. But
Also, for everyone watching this on YouTube, gets the pleasure of seeing your beautiful face. This is a good day.
This is a good day.
Yeah, great start to the episode. And we have a very packed episode for you today as well. We'll be going back a few weeks to our first ever annual retreat in partnership with Travel Zoo, which we hosted at the stunning Chewton Glen Hotel, and we'll be hearing from some of the executive attendees. But before that, some of our team actually recently visited a cohort of future industry executives with the Cruise Career Springboard, and Shelby, you were one of them. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about how that went?
Yeah, so we went to the Four Seasons in Tower Hill, and we met up with there were like 35 students, I think, in college. It was me and Gabby, who's one of our marketing executives, and we sort of did a presentation. Gabby talked about what she does and her job. She's our social media kind of expert, and so she talked about the different kinds of posts that you can make and what it's like to run social media accounts for a company. And I focus more on the video stuff, how to make a good video and what makes video so important when it comes to social media and marketing. And then we did a little task, I guess, for them at the end where we gave them 2 cruise lines and we had them research the brands, and then we had them come up with 2 video ideas to pitch as if they were about to go on this cruise and make content for one of the.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, and they all were very engaged and participated. It was.
And I think you said that one of the groups actually made a video.
Yeah,
as well, yeah.
One of the groups, because we had prizes and the prizes were chocolate, so they really
that all makes sense.
They wanted to win, so they went out and they recorded a whole video and they edited it and they put music behind it. And
amazing.
Yeah, they went above and beyond. The downside was they didn't have time to watch it before they played it. So the music was really loud and you couldn't actually hear anything anyone was saying.
But that's the learning curve.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is a great way to learn.
Yeah,
exactly. And if they'd had more time, then they would have obviously been able to watch it and work that out.
Yeah.
But it's great that they got so involved with it. I mean, it's programs like these, and we've done a lot of work with Cruise Career Springboard. It's not the first time that we've done this sort of thing. And actually, keep an eye and an ear out for our interview with Edwina Lonsdale, who runs the project. So I caught up the other week. That'll be coming out in a few weeks' time. But, the work that they do is brilliant, because bringing through that next generation is so important, especially in travel, because look, it's a great industry to work in that we all know. But I don't think a lot of the next generation really know about it. You think of travel when you think of cabin crew or working on the ship, and that can be a little bit off-putting to people who maybe don't want to spend all the time on a plane or on a ship. But it's all the other jobs around it. And I know the program does a lot of work with the cruise lines, so working for them, but the fact that they can see what we do as well, which is quite different when we sit sort of kind of outside from the cruise lines, and they get those skills, as you say, like Gabby showing me the marketing stuff and you with the video stuff, that's transferable to every industry, really.
Yeah, but it's very multifaceted, this industry that we all work in. I mean, there's so many different roles that you can have, and I think that you can't explain that really to a group of young people in an hour's lesson. You can't just say there's a list of all the millions of jobs that there are, go and pick one. So it's amazing to get them to get some hands-on experience and to see that there are other avenues to get into travel, because I mean we all work in it, we know how brilliant the industry is. So if there's an avenue to get there, then I would be keen for people to try and take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't want to just talk at them for 30 minutes to an hour. We wanted them to actually participate. So and it went really well. So they were great students.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Shelby, what were some of those tips that you shared with the students when it comes to creating video, filming, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I went through the production process, so pre-production and then post, and we talked about outlining videos, writing up a script, having to have a solid idea of what it is that you want to create before you even start filming. And then we talked about always expecting things to go wrong, having backup equipment, having a backup plan, basic things like lighting, audio. And then for post-production, we talked about the human attention span is only like 8.25 to 10.25 seconds. So each
Is that true?
Yeah. So each clip can't exceed 10 seconds. Otherwise, you might risk losing interest. But you also don't want these clips to be way too short because sometimes it will like sensory overload people and they'll stop watching because it like hurts their eyes. So trying to find that balance and color grading, things like that. And then, so it was cool because the team that did do a video, they got to do some of these things beforehand. They'd learned and then they got to apply it. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, I must say, I wish we had those insights for our retreat, which we'll hear from soon, which was just filmed by us too. We missed you, unfortunately.
We missed you a lot.
I think what we came up with was good enough.
Oh God, no! Now I was going to look at people; their attention spans will be gone.
Absolutely.
All those 11-second clips we did, people won't know them.
Yeah. Well, look, there's tons of food for thought there, and a lot that I think our listeners can take away as well in terms of creating video for when they go on trips and for their agencies and cruise lines. And as I say, keep your eye and ear out for the interview with founder of the program and owner of Monday Cruise in Edwina Lonsdale, which will be coming very soon.
Yes, and that'll be a great episode. Really looking forward to listening to that one. But before that. And before the rest of our podcast today, when we hear from a range of industry experts who have blazed a trail for the next cohort of cruising icons, I have some very good news for you both. And that is that we have extended the deadline for this year's Wave Awards submissions.
Exciting.
You now have until the 4th of June, which is next Thursday, to get your submissions in. And I really do encourage everyone to submit an entry because it's a brilliant night.
It's going to be a great night. Already shaping up to be a really good night again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So please do get your submissions in because we'd love to see as many as possible. And so that you can try and leave with a gong, as everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to get a medal for that hard work.
Yeah, everyone's been working super hard this year, and it's a great way to end the year. Celebrate with your team.
Yeah.
And have a great night at the Dorchester Hotel.
Can we win any?
We can't, unfortunately.
I'm not going. But we are also putting plans in place for the 2026 Cruise Summit and for the Cruise Star Awards. So there's loads going on with us. So everyone, please keep your eyes and ears open because there's more coming on that soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, make sure to share and like the Cruise Corner podcast. And please do not hesitate to reach out to us. So let us know what you think. If there's anything you'd like to hear from, any people you'd like to hear from, we would really love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's rewind back a few weeks to the stunning Chewton Glen Hotel and Spa to hear from the leaders shaping the future of the cruise sector.
I'm here with Sally White, the marketing director from World Travel Holdings. So, Sally, how have you found the retreat so far?
Hi, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. It's been a really good morning, really good to hear from peers and for cruise lines in terms of how optimistic they are about the industry. So, yeah, great morning so far.
Yeah, which sessions did you particularly enjoy?
I loved hearing from the cruise lines, but also from Accord Marketing and Insider One. It's always good to get a different perspective, and hearing about AI and some new uses for that is always good inspiration to take back.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hosted some roundtables today. So we were on the same one, weren't we? So our topic of discussion was whether the lates market was dying. So what did you think of that? What did you take away from it?
Yeah, so always really good. Quite a controversial subject within the table.
Yeah.
And balancing the motivators for cruise lines versus priorities for agents and also priorities for the customers as well. So definitely the lates market is alive and kicking. And I think we're all optimistic in terms of what that will look like for 2026.
Yeah, so it feels like it's still, we're on track. It's going to be a good year.
Still all to play for.
Yeah, which is really exciting, especially given the current mood of the world right now that feels quite low. It's nice to feel like there is optimism and within our industry.
Without a doubt. And, you know, there are different needs from cruise lines in terms of availability within the market. We're still quite early within our late season, so it'll still be interesting to see how that emerges. But definitely there is also interest in booking ahead. Yeah. So we're seeing really strong booking trends for 2027 and beyond.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, that people are, that you've got both.
Both. That's the perfect world.
Yeah, exactly. And lastly, why was it important for you to be part of this?
Yeah, really important just to be part of the conversation and have that visibility with World of Cruising. And we've got other projects on the go. So yeah, really proud to be part of it.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we really appreciate you being a partner and hope that we have a great rest of the day.
Great. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
So, Nico, we're here at Cruise Trade News' first ever retreat. How have you found it so far?
It's a lovely bunch of people, fantastic setting, So it's my maiden voyage into the subsector of cruising within retail, and I can see that it's a great bunch of people that really like the industry. It feels like everyone just stay in this industry, but a lot of passion between companies. There's competition, but there's a lot of passion between the companies to grow the market share of cruise overall. So I think it's a lot of collaboration happening, what I can see.
Excellent. And speaking of collaboration, obviously you've partnered with us for this event. What was the thought process behind that? Why did you feel it was necessary to work with us on an event like this?
Well, first of all, we're very happy to have you as our customer. We just finished onboarding. So you're now fully set up as one of our customers. This is travel is one of our most important verticals that we focus on. It's some of our most valuable customers come from the travel industry, and the subsector cruise lines within it absolutely makes perfect sense. We've got a couple of customers within that vertical, but it's definitely something that we want to grow because there's a perfect fit between what we offer, the value proposition from our technology, and what you can do for any business within this industry from the full life cycle, finding new customers, converting them, keeping them, and also reactivating those who have stopped engaging with you for whatever reason.
Yeah. And a part of today's sessions, we had a roundtable discussion and you was on my roundtable where we discussed loyalty and keeping customers coming back for more. Yeah. What were some of your key takeaways from that conversation? And, what was your advice that you gave to the table?
It is a very traditional industry. It feels quite insular from the rest of travel. Everyone moves around within the industry. So I wonder if that doesn't often exclude new talent and thought leadership and disruption coming in from with other particular verticals. I was very surprised about the average age of the customer, which is mid-50s.
Yeah.
So that means that half of all customers are below the mid-50s, which means they are absolutely embracing AI, from searching to making decisions to engaging with platforms. So I think AI has disrupted so many verticals in the past, and they had to adapt to stay relevant. I think it is coming to this sub-industry, something that everyone has to be ready for. And this is why we're here to help. We are an AI native marketing technology platform, and we want to bring some of our learnings to this audience to make sure that they bring out the best in their customer engagement strategy.
And if there's one message that you'd like someone listening to this or watching this to take away from your expertise in the AI marketing, what would that be?
Don't be scared of bringing AI into all facets of your engagement. There's a concept of human in the loop. 35 years, humans did everything. It was just human, 100% human in the loop. AI is starting to take more and more of that 100% workflow out. But there'll always be a human in the loop to prove that content before it goes out, or to make sure that translation is done properly. So embrace how AI can do things faster, more effectively, and more accurately. Keep the human in the loop, and embrace AI for things like data segmentation, investigating your data to understand where that gold nuggets are, doing creative copy, and then also let AI decide what you send to which person on which channel. The technology is now widely used in more forward-thinking verticals. I'd say e-commerce and e-commerce and retail. Because of the competition, they have to be thought leaders there. Yeah. So embrace what they are doing to make sure that you maintain your market position and that AI don't disrupt you. Use AI to stay ahead of the curve.
Brilliant. Nico, thank you so much. Thank you again, Insider One, for joining us at the brilliant retreat, and we hope you've had a great time.
Oh, wonderful. Nice to speak to you.
Hi, I'm here with James Clark, the General Manager of Travel Zoo. How have you been finding the retreat so far?
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant. I think the key is bringing all the right sorts of people in a room together. You can see the moment we got this morning, meeting for coffee, conversations were firing, everyone's clicking, everyone's eager to talk to each other. So far, it's been brilliant.
Yeah. What have been some of your favourite bits?
Outside of the keynote that obviously I provided, so of course.
Yeah, which was a highlight. It was brilliant.
Well, I have to say the other two keynotes were excellent, but the roundtables to get everybody around the table to talk about different challenges that are facing the market, and then for everyone to hear that, debate that, talk about that.
Yeah.
Definitely has been a highlight.
So which roundtable were you on?
We were a roundtable debating about luxury and how it's changed and evolved in the cruise industry.
And what were some of the key findings from that one?
I think the way we perceive luxury, ultimately, where luxury has been perceived previously maybe around the amount you spend on a holiday and potentially maybe even a brand or a particularly tangible item of luxury, to now maybe it's more experience driven, or it's about time and quality, or for instance in cruise, in destination, doing that thing that creates that ultimate fear of missing out. So when you go back, you can say, hey, I did this cruise and then I ended up sleeping under the stars. Can't put a price on that. And that's kind of the new luxury we're seeing.
Yeah. So is that a kind of consensus within the table that's been the shift?
Yeah, I believe so. There's always going to be a debate when you've got Cunard on the table and you've also got Regent Seven Seas. They're always going to debate and say who's the best. But ultimately, I think we all agreed that luxury has evolved and we're seeing a new level of it now in the cruise industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had some brilliant morning sessions, brilliant roundtables, and then we had just come back from the vineyard that we'd just been treated to. So what was that like?
Oh, it was brilliant. Yeah. I tell you what, to walk around a vineyard on a beautiful sunny afternoon with a great group of people doesn't get much better. But then, of course, we all got to drink it at the end.
Yes, it did get better.
So that did get better. Yeah. So, it was a perfect setting. And look, it's for me, it's all about in environments like that, which is what travel's all about. You're sampling something local, it makes you all do something different, and it gives you a memory to go back and tell everyone about.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, before I let you go, you are obviously one of our really key sponsors here today. So why has it been so important for you to partner with us on this?
Well, I think it's kind of twofold. First off, I've always said that being in a room with the right people is fundamentally part of why we want to sponsor it. We want to be there. And in the room today, as I said at the beginning, you have directors and C-suite individuals, and it allows you to have the conversations with the decision makers. So the group of people, brilliant. The setting, the organization that's gone into this has really made this, really raised the bar of this type of output. So it's been a fantastic event.
Oh, thank you so much. Obviously, this is our inaugural retreat. So
we'll be here next year.
Yeah, well, it's only going to get better. So thank you so much, James.
Pleasure.
I'm here with SJ Walker, the Director of Sales for Virgin Voyages. So we're now in the evening portion of the first day of our retreat. How have you found it so far?
It's been so lovely, Josie. I've really enjoyed being part of it. It's been so interesting hearing all the data, all of the insights, some really useful takeouts that we can absolutely implement to make an impact to all of our businesses. And it's been great to work alongside a lot of the sponsors and suppliers, but also equally, in fact, I should say as a priority, lots of our travel agent partners as well. So it's been great to spend some time socially with them as well.
Yeah, well, we've absolutely loved having you. But you said a few things in there that I want to pick up on. So the first one is that you said there were some key takeaways from this session. So what are those key takeaways for you?
Well, I really enjoyed the roundtables that we did.
Yeah.
So we broke out into 4 different groups, and each of us really specialised on a specific topic. My topic was all around how luxury has kind of evolved in terms of its perception. So lots of interesting conversations around that, which I'm sure will get some great coverage from Cruise Trade News and World of Cruising.
Absolutely. And then you went on to say about being a sponsor. So we're really grateful that you wanted to be a sponsor for our first ever retreat. Why did you feel it was important to be a sponsor for this event?
Well, as we know, Chris drives a hard bargain. But aside from that, look, I think this event is really important. It's really great to get so many different views and concepts together and really delve into a lot of the data and the insights. That's really, really important to help drive all of our businesses forwards. And to do that alongside lots of other friends within the industry and with travel agents is great. But most importantly, it's the inaugural event. So hopefully this will be the first of many of the retreats. And my, what a day it has been so far. I'm really, really looking forward to this gorgeous evening that we've got ahead.
Absolutely. And yeah, it is our first one, but we also hope that there will be more to come.
Indeed.
So just before I let you go,
in between the very, very serious business sessions and a dinner, we did have a lovely little escape to a vineyard. How was that?
We did. I didn't think we was meant to mention that. Business only, business critical. No, do you know, it was absolutely lovely. And again, lots of small learnings to take away from there. So we enjoyed lots of different types of wines and hearing about how the business is running locally, and the fact that, you know, we're only account for like 1% of all of the wine in the, you know, that's consumed in the UK is from the UK.
Yeah, I know.
So
we need to step up. Yeah.
We do need to step up our
That's the key takeaway from the retreat. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. But interesting, I actually thought that the UK really specialised in white sparkling wine.
Yeah.
So to hear that there were rosé and try it for ourselves, and the red wines as well, which is my tipple of choice, was a real treat.
Lovely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, SJ, and let's have a lovely evening.
Oh, thanks, Josie.
So I'm here with Head of Sales for Fred Upton Cruise Lines, Jeff Ridge. And Jeff, we're here at our very first retreat at the beautiful Chewton Glen Hotel. How have you found it?
The venue, let's start there. Yeah. I mean, what an amazing place to actually be able to host something like this. Absolutely outstanding. And yeah, amazing to be part of, a first, isn't it, really, to actually have a retreat and come away with agents and cruise lines and media alike. And it's been really entertaining and really educational.
Brilliant. And we had a few sessions this morning. We had some keynote speakers. We had a panel discussion, which you were a part of. And we touched on some quite difficult topics, challenging topics about how the industry can grow in the midst of crises. What are some of your key takeaways from that, from our discussion?
I mean, one of the things that, Will, I take away from this, and I'm always really heartened about the industry that we work in, the fact that actually we can come together as operators and agents together as one community and actually talk about these hard discussions and share experiences. I think we realise that if we do that, then actually as an industry, we can grow, we can overcome, we can make things better. So it's been really great to be able to sort of, share the stories and be able to sort of, work through best practice with everybody. And we've touched on some relatively difficult topics today. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I know obviously another part of it, you've sponsored us this event, you've partnered with us. These events, you just say it's an inaugural event. We've never done anything like this before. It's quite a unique event. Why is it important for you to be a part of an event like this?
It's great to be able to support, sponsor, be a part of anything new. I think I love innovation. I love the idea that we're coming up with new ways to engage cruise lines, media, and agents together. This is a first. I wanted to be a part of that. I love what you guys were talking about with sort of, new technologies that you're looking at yourselves. And it's been great to actually hear from others along the way. So absolutely, I think it was a great new idea and we wanted to be a part of it.
Brilliant. Great to hear. And just finally, obviously, we had the important stuff in the morning with the panel discussions, but we also had a lovely day out down at Setley Ridge Vineyard. How did you find that?
Well, what an eclectic day out. Let's put it that way. What an amazing gentleman that was actually that owned around that vineyard, and again, it was a great opportunity for an hour to get out there to spend a bit of time with cruise line friends and agents alike. Really, again, you don't often get time outside of the formality of an event, and it was actually great to be able to just relax and actually have some open conversations whilst walking around a vineyard. Why not?
Not much better places. Yeah, brilliant. Jeff, thank you so much for your time and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Will.
So I'm here with Jasmine Ahmed, Strategy Director for Core Marketing. Jazz, we are coming towards the end of our first ever retreat. It's been an excellent day of insight, networking, strategy talks. How have you found it?
Oh, what a day. Seriously, where do I start? I mean, look at the venue. The venue's fantastic. So just choosing a place like this is just incredible. But that aside, I think the day's just been brilliant. Not to mention the sessions, the speakers, and the networking's been fantastic. And also the roundtables idea. I thought that was just a really great way of just hearing off the record chats from a lot of people and just everyone being open about what's working, what's not about the industry. So yeah, just trying to encapsulate everything in one is difficult. So just try to pick out.
Of course. And you mentioned there the panel discussions we had and the keynote speeches, you self-delivered keynote. What were some of your key takeaways from this morning's sessions?
Do you know what? I was thinking when I was putting the kind of presentation together that I'm talking to a room full of senior cruise leaders. So do I really want to go down the route of telling them about cruise? So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go down a slightly different angle. I thought, you know what, I'm going to come at it as a marketer. So I told a bit of the story around cruise and how cruise has rebounded from the pandemic, and actually did it through a marketing lens, and just really explained why cruise did things such as being emotional with advertising, spending money on TV, and just doing a lot of things that other categories aren't. And it's helped put cruise in the position that it is today.
Absolutely. And as well as those discussions we had, you mentioned the roundtables, which of course off the record, and you mentioned sort of how effective they were for you. And that was something we wanted to capture with this event, is deliver something a little bit different, a little bit unique. And would you say that's why, Accord a partner with us for this event? Is something a little bit different that stands out for you?
Absolutely. We are always we're always on the lookout for kind of different partners and people kind of in the travel space like we are as well. So when we heard about this opportunity, it was kind of a bit of a no-brainer really. And I think it's kind of paid its dues. It's been a great day really. So we're looking to do more. This is the first of many, hopefully.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to hear. And just finally, obviously we've touched on the content that we discussed and the insights and the discussions, which have been brilliant. But we also had a lovely afternoon at Setley Ridge Vineyard, which was something a little bit different for an event like this. How was that for you?
Yeah, the guy was really interesting, wasn't he? He I don't think I've ever been able to listen to someone for 30 minutes non-stop and still be fully paying attention. Yeah. He was quite the character. But look, he owns a vineyard, so he's got a hell of a load of stories. And also just kind of what a great thing to do after a morning of sessions, you know that. Networking is not just about speaking kind of like shop about the industry, but it's also, doing something outside of that and really getting to know the people that you work with on a different level, like we are now.
Exactly. And I think I heard as well, some people were having conversations about what we discussed in the morning, and having just those nice little chats, and it was nice the sun was out and we learned something new. So look, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for partnering with us, and we hope you have a great night.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
See ya.